Hello, and welcome to Random Access, PC Mag's daily show on Facebook, where we show you one cool thing which we are testing in the PC Mag labs. I am Sasha Segan, this is Matt Buzzy. This is our cool thing, which is a laptop. We'll talk about it in a minute. We have Social Pete here on the con, ready to take your comments and questions. And of course, as always on this show, if you have questions about this product, that's great. But Matt knows all about desktops and laptops. I know something about phones and tablets, a little bit maybe. So you can ask us about anything, and we will see if we can answer. But for now, for today, what we have here is, let's say you had a MacBook, but you replaced the letter C with the letter TE.
That's okay.
That would be
with you.
Mate.
It would be Matebook.
Right?
It's and at a glance, you could confuse it with one. This is the Huawei Matebook X. They did last year. They did a 2-in-1, which they have again. But this is a full-on. This is a full-on ultra portable laptop. No
Super
detachability.
slim laptop.
No touchscreen. Super slim. It's the world's thinnest fanless 13-inch laptop. There's a couple qualifiers there.
I was going to say, are there thinner ones with fans? Wouldn't a fan make it thicker?
Yes.
That's so weird.
Right? Well, because the heat dispersion, so you need to compensate. So you can make it thinner because of the fan, but so yeah, it's super quiet because there's no fans. That's another plus. This is the Huawei Matebook. It's this one is $1099, which is compared to the 2017 MacBook we reviewed. That's $1,300. There is a more expensive version of this. There's a gold one, of course, for the same price as the MacBooks, $1,300. That has an i7 processor, a bigger hard drive. This one, one has a Core. Yeah, this one has
step through the specs here.
Sure, this one has a Core i5.
And now this has a Core i5, and let's note that MacBook we reviewed has an M3.
Yes.
So significantly more powerful.
Yes. So speed is good. The speed's pretty good. It's not compared to the i7 laptops. It does make a noticeable difference. The multimedia test, all that stuff is faster if you get the i7 version, but it's only $1099. It's not much more than $1,000.
And RAM and storage.
8 gigs RAM. You get a 256 gigabyte SSD. It's split in kind of a weird way. There's like a boot drive. It's like 80 gigs, and then the rest is somewhere else.
No, is it an actual SSD?
It's an M.2.
Okay. Yeah. So is it soldered in, or
it's
is it a replaceable
it's plugged into a port on the motherboard, not a traditional SSD. It's one of those sticks.
Okay. So it's basically a USB stick plugged into the motherboard.
Yeah, it's super fancy. That's how you can fit that stuff into something so thin and small. So this weighs 2.3 pounds. It's 0.52 inches thick, which is, at that point, slight margins about which laptop is thinner. I know the Spectre is like 0.42, but by the end of the day, you're getting a super thin, super light laptop.
Tell me about the screen.
So the screen is a 2K QHD. It's not touch. There's no touch option on this, which is a little, Mac users would be familiar with that. There's never a touch option. Yeah. But there's some Windows competition like the Razer Blade Stealth you can get with touch, the Dell Express
But
you
also
can get with
touch, once again, makes the screen slightly thicker. And they're trying to make this as thin as possible.
Exactly. And the bezels in particular, you can't, the Blade Stealth has some thick bezels because
to make the touch happen.
Yeah, it's just the compromise, and they thought more people would care about thinness than touch. They may be right about that.
At least in this case.
Yeah, they may be right about that. I know a lot of people say I don't really want touch.
So 2K screen, is it bright?
It's very bright. It's bright. I don't know how it's coming across on the studio lights here, but it's bright. It's really crisp. It's not much different than the MacBook screen. It looks really really sharp.
And now, another thing that's impressing me here is for such a thin laptop, I'm kind of jamming on this keyboard.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The keys are nice and bouncy. It's comfortable to type on. No real complaints. Doesn't do anything out of the ordinary, but it's backlit and it's comfortable to type on. It's really all you can ask for.
Looks like we have some questions.
How would it withstand a drop test? How would that work out?
Don't.
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna. But it's made of aluminum. It doesn't feel like it's cheap or gonna break. It's all nice one build. It's not like a flimsy bottom. It doesn't feel chintzy.
But it's not like ruggedized.
But
it's
not meant to be thrown to the ground any more than your MacBook is. So.
Yeah. Get a sleeve. Get a nice sleeve.
Yeah, get a little case.
Okay, so now of course the most divisive thing about laptops like this is the port situation.
Oh, the port situation. So the thinner you get, you only have the dreaded USB-C only situation.
But at least we have two.
There are two. There's one on each side. This one is for charging and data transfer. This one is for data transfer and docking. So it does come with, they call it a dock. MateBook
That's
dock.
not a dock.
It's a dongle with a lot of different ports. It's a multi-dongle.
Yeah, but like Aoki makes a $40 dongle that has that many ports on it.
Yeah, it's not it's a generous description of a dock. But
yeah.
They do include this, so you get USB, you get HDMI, VGA for all your VGA needs in 2017, and more USB-C. So,
and then of course you can get a full-sized USB-C dock for use on your desktop with like all the ports you want in the world. There's a whole bunch of those docks out there.
Yeah, this would be for travel. So thin. This is, I guess, something else to keep track of, but unfortunately, almost all the thinnest laptops are kind of just going USB-C.
What does it support in terms of external monitors?
Well, since you got the HDMI and you can get anything you have here, you can hook up.
But is it 4K?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if this is 4K throughput on the dock. The USB-C probably is straight through. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
If you use a USB-C to HDMI or USB-C to DVI cable, can the laptop
I believe
support
so, yes.
an external 4K display?
I believe so.
Okay. So looks like we have another question.
Can you get a touchscreen for this?
There are no touchscreen options. Even the $1,300 one, the gold, the Prestige Gold, because of course that has to be the color's name, does not include touch. Also, you get an i7, you get a 512 gigabyte SSD. So, which is actually a pretty good jump up for that much more money, $200 more.
Now, can you upgrade the SSD by, I wouldn't say by yourself, but can anyone upgrade the SSD, or is this case completely non-openable?
It's not. I mean, I haven't tried. There's no. It's not. These aren't even standard screws, as you see. It really doesn't want you getting in here. And it's an M.2, so it's going to be really super specific. Plus, on this sort of device, I doubt you need that. I mean, more storage is always good, but you're probably just storing files and on documents for whatever. I don't think this is going to be anyone's like giant video project machine that they need it all on here.
Now, speaking of video, how about graphics and video performance? Could I, in theory, edit 4K video on here?
You could. It's going to take a while to. Especially not even the i7 version, the i5 version. It's going to take a while to kind of chug through that stuff. We ran the Photoshop test on it. It was about 4.5 minutes, and some of the faster systems do high 2 minutes.
Is it going to lose frames though?
It's a little. It probably would. The integrated graphics isn't going to be super great for rendering or anything like that. And the processor, it's quick. It's KB Lake. It's new, but it's not.
But we just have like the most basic integrated graphics here.
Yeah, HD 620. It's not. It's not even like a low end, discrete card of any kind. It's just the straight basic integrated graphics, so not really meant for that stuff.
How's the battery life?
The battery life is actually only okay, which is a little disappointing. That's kind of we gave this a 3.5, and I think that's probably one of the main complaints about it, because the build's really nice, the screen's really nice, the touchpad's nice, the keyboard's nice, everything's good. The battery lasted about 7 hours and 50 minutes, which isn't bad.
But it's considerably shorter than, say, the MacBook.
The MacBook's is 15 hours. The Surface Laptops is like 16 and a half hours.
I have to mute my phone, by the way. It's going crazy. There's apparently people
Sasha's so
just blowing me up.
Popular.
Well, what's happening is that Fastest Mobile Networks Canada is on the road.
Oh, so he is so popular.
And everybody on the road constantly has questions.
They need you. They need your guidance. So 7 hours, 50 minutes. That'll get you through a plane ride, not a super long one. It'll get you through a commute. Obviously, it'll get you probably through the workday, unless you're on it all the time and you don't need to plug it in. But you're not going to want to take like transcontinental flights on it and expect it to work the whole way and all this stuff. So
now, what else is out there in terms of Windows ultra portables like this? You mentioned the Razer Blade Stealth.
Yeah, so the Razer Blade Stealth, that's our editor's choice. The specifically the Core i7 version. It's 1300. You can get it configured similarly to this for less. It starts at $999 too. So you can find one that's similar to this. It's a little thicker, but it has USB 3.0 ports and USB-C with Thunderbolt 3. It has a touchscreen. The build's nice. The keys are individually backlit. It's a little faster. All these sorts of features kind of add up. The HP Spectre 13 is another good option. Similar, USB-C only, et cetera, et cetera. I think the build's a little nicer. It feels premium. Always the Dell XPS series is always a super good recommendation. You can, again, configure that anywhere from $999 up to like $1,600 if you want. Those are super nice systems too.
Looks like we have some questions out there.
Can this play Crysis 3?
Oh yeah, no. Don't game on this.
This is not for any form of gaming whatsoever.
Don't do it. The most simple of games, a 2D card
Minecraft.
With lower settings even. I would say. Card games like Hearthstone and stuff. If you run them on low settings, those aren't demanding because they're 2D, they're flat. There's very little animation happening, but. It's not a gaming system.
Not
if they made this a gaming system and there was discrete, power and this this form factor,
We might
sign me up. It would also be like $3,000.
I was going to say we might also be like disobeying the laws of physics at some point.
Looks
like
no,
we have some more questions.
with no fans, no less. That would be impressive.
Is it a good web development machine?
I'm not. I'll admit I'm not necessarily entirely sure what that would entail for data crunching. I mean, it's comfortable to like stare at for hours and type on. If you're coding into the night, it'll last you a good amount of time. As I said, not forever, but
yeah, I do most of my coding in Notepad++, which is not exactly a high test application. And in that case, all I really want is a nice screen, a nice keyboard, and network connectivity.
Yeah, and in that case, yes, I could see someone posting up with this at a cafe and like typing out a bunch of code pretty comfortably.
I think the only concern is people who are generating the graphic elements in things like Photoshop.
Yeah, as kind of, I would say universally, working on a 13-inch system for some graphic design stuff doesn't sound very comfortable to me. I'm sure people do it. I would want at least 15, which is also how I feel for gaming. Like, I feel like gaming on a 12, 13-inch system is a little
You just want more real
ridiculous.
estate.
Yeah, just screen size.
Yeah.
I think that'd just be a little cramped. Feel a little cramped. This touchpad, speaking of which, is a nice size. It just reminded me of,
I like
of
how
cramped.
it's not
MacBook Pros is
not
just
this outrageous MacBook touchpad.
I think it's like the size of this whole keyboard, practically.
Looks like we've got some more questions.
Why do people like touchpads more than track points?
Ooh. Oh, wow. The surface area, really, right? You don't want to... I'm thinking of the trackball, unless that's not what you're referring to.
No.
Does he mean the trackpad, like MacBook's trackpad?
No, they think they're talking about the Lenovo track nipple.
Oh, that's what I thought. The eraser, style. Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Okay, yeah. I mean, I feel like the benefits are obvious. You get a full surface of touch. You get this whole wide thing instead of this little dot. I mean, I've never found those particularly comfortable. I know people got used to them when they were popular. Lenovo leaves them in all their laptops still. It's useful, I guess, if your hands are already on the keys, but the touchpad's right here, and you get a lot more. And there's gestures, too.
The track point is a little bit like, I don't know why this popped to mind, but the track point is a little bit like the Dvorak keyboard, where it's, for a lot of people, it's not necessarily initially intuitive, but then people who get used to it become real aficionados, and then they're much faster with it than with any other form. But it's
still a very niche thing.
But it's a niche thing because it has that learning curve, and that's the thing. Trackpads are more intuitive.
Is the touch ball the Linux of touch?
Where is there
touch
a ball?
control? The eraser. I don't know what to call it. The little ball.
It's who uses a ball?
No,
that's not a ball.
It's
not a ball. It doesn't roll.
It doesn't
There's
roll.
no rolling.
Technically, it's not a ball. You're right.
It has to roll to be a ball.
You're right.
Okay. Next question.
It's an eraser head.
Actually, I think we're all set.
I'll go to questions. Yeah. Yeah. Our ball semantics are out of control.
Yeah, but ultimately, actually, I'm not a huge fan of touchpads, but I just have a travel mouse.
Yeah, I can't work on a touchpad for more than like 10 minutes. I get super frustrated.
Exactly. And so
they can be as good as they want, and it's still just, it's a cramped experience.
Right. I will just use on this you would want to use probably a Bluetooth. This has Bluetooth, right?
Yes.
So you would just want to use a Bluetooth travel mouse, so you don't need to worry about a dongle or anything.
Correct, yeah, because there is no USB, which is what they almost all are. So
exactly. And you don't want to have to
that would be
dongle
hilarious.
for your
dongle
mouse.
From the dock hanging off the thing, that'd be great.
Like a trail of wires.
On a train, I assume, because you're doing some mobile work. Yeah,
exactly. It looks like we've got some more questions.
How is the keyboard to type on?
It's really comfortable. It's surprising, as Sasha said, for something this small. It's nice and sticky keys. I hear sticky keys.
Oh yeah, now we're sticky. I'm super picky about keyboards. I really don't like any of the new Mac keyboards, which is part of why I switched back to Windows this generation to get better keyboards. And this keyboard is really good for a laptop this thin. It has actual travel. The switches are nice and bouncy. It makes a little bit of noise, but not a lot of noise. It's a nice keyboard in this form factor.
Yes.
It's as good as you're going to get this thin.
It's true. And speaking of noise, another feature we didn't touch on is Dolby Atmos. A mix of hardware and software coming together to provide some richer sound, a sort of surround experience.
I'm never sure what to make of all of these sound branding.
It's very hard
things.
to, yeah.
It's like everybody has like some kind of branded sound, and you
Love
know what
my
to me?
branded
They
sound.
all just sound like laptop speakers.
They sound, it does. Having done the demo at the event when they unveiled this and testing a little, It does sound a little bit more surroundy, especially for something so small. It sounds a little richer, kind of envelops you a bit, but it's not like it doesn't turn into like a house shaking speaker system or anything like that. So,
any more questions out there?
I think we're all set.
Okay, terrific. So the review on this is up. This is the Matebook X. This is on sale now.
Yes.
Starts at $10.99, and you can equip it up to
$1,300.
Oh, not that far. It's
no, not that far. i7 and a 512 instead of a 256. Not a Dell. It's not going to go crazy high.
So, yep, starts at $10.99. You can equip it up to $1,300. The review is up. We gave it a 3.5, which is not bad, but there's a couple other things we like better.
As the scale, it says good. Our cons are no touchscreen option, USB-C only, and the fact that the battery life is so-so.
Remind them what we like better.
The Razer Blade Stealth, specifically the late 2016 version with the Core i7. There's an i5 version you can get that came out a little later, so that's a little cheaper if you want that. So if you like the build of that better, you can also configure it accordingly to your tastes. And also, we're going to have a review of the Matebook E, the 2-in-1 detachable situation. Okay. So stay tuned for that also.
Okay, yep, that's coming up soon. So thanks for watching. This has been Random Access. This is One Cool Thing. That is Matt Buzzy. I am Sasha Segan, and we will see you again at 10 a.m. tomorrow.